Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're taking on a truly universal enemy. You know the exact feeling I'm talking about. You sit down at your desk, you open a fresh document, and there it is. The blinking cursor. It just sits there, steadily blinking at you on a bright, empty, blindingly white screen, completely mocking your inability to form a single, coherent sentence. The dread of the blank page is a very real, scientifically documented phenomenon. But today, we're going to learn exactly how to conquer it. Okay, let's dive into this. We've all stared at that screen, right? Just waiting for some elusive lightning bolt of inspiration to strike. And it is painful. Writer's block can feel totally paralyzing, whether you're just trying to fire off an email to your boss, craft a business proposal, or write a full-length novel. We've pulled together some top-tier insights from universities, writing platforms, and grammar experts to figure out exactly why our brains freeze up and, more importantly, how we can systematically smash through that barrier to get our ideas flowing. To do that, we're breaking this daunting process into super manageable chunks. First up, overcoming the blank page. Then, the 40-20-40 rule. After that, we'll meet your new best friend, the zero draft. Then, we'll cover the down, up, and dental framework. And we'll wrap it all up with some rapid-fire tips for beating writer's block. Let's go.
Section 1. Overcoming the blank page.
The absolute first step to beating writer's block is busting a massive myth. You know that romanticized idea that great writers just sit down, sip their coffee, and instantly produce perfect prose? Yeah, that's entirely false. The University of Sydney's Researcher Development Hub hits the nail on the head here. They point out that if you write your first draft as if it's your final draft, you are putting yourself under a mountainous amount of pressure. Think about it. Expecting every word to be perfect on the very first try is exactly what leads to paralysis. To overcome the blank page, we literally have to lower our expectations.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 2, the 40-20-40 writing rule. If writing isn't just a single, nonstop sprint to the finish line, then what is it? Well, it's a staged, iterative process. It's all about breaking up the task. And this brilliantly illustrates how your time should actually be spent, based on concepts from technical writing essentials. It suggests spending 40% of your time planning, so researching, outlining, brainstorming. Then, you spend another 40% at the very end, revising and polishing. But look at that middle slice. The actual drafting phase should only take 20% of your total writing time. Drafting is literally the shortest part of the whole process.
This leads us to such a beautifully liberating concept. Drafting is for the writer. Revision is for the reader. I mean, think about the psychological relief here. You have absolute 100% permission to write complete and utter trash in your initial drafting phase. Why? Because nobody is going to read it but you. The draft doesn't exist to impress an audience. It exists simply to help you figure out what the heck you're even trying to say.
All right, Section 3, meet the zero draft.
So how do we actually put this into practice? We use a specific tool to safely test drive a piece of writing without an ounce of pressure. Enter the zero draft. Also known as a discovery draft, it's basically a preliminary summary. You just write down a high-level outline of everything you know about the piece, from start to finish. It's essentially a massive brain dump. It gets you writing in a safe space, because absolutely no one will ever see it. You aren't writing prose for publication. You're just talking to yourself on the page.
Let's contrast the zero draft with a first draft to really make this concrete. A first draft is recognizable as an actual piece of writing, right? It has prose, dialogue, scene setting. It intends to show the reader something. A zero draft, on the other hand, is all telling. It's just a raw, messy list of events or arguments. No style, no flow. The writing community Scriboffle uses a fantastic analogy for this. Writing a zero draft is literally just shoveling sand into a pit. You're just gathering materials. Building the actual sandcastles comes way later.
And the efficiency you gain from this is staggering. According to Scribophile, working from a zero draft can cut the time it takes to write a full-length novel down to just 6 months. Because you've already figured out the structure and the story in that zero draft, writing the actual prose becomes insanely fast. You're no longer agonizing over what happens next. You're literally just coloring in the lines you've already drawn.
Let's move to and see how this builds into a repeatable process. Here's Scrapophile's super straightforward method for generating a zero draft. Step 1, list everything you know. Boom, just make bullet points. Step 2, put those items in chronological or logical order. Step 3, start asking questions. What's missing here? What connects point A to point B? Step 4, fill in those newly discovered blanks. And finally, put it all together into a structural roadmap. Just like that, you have a zero draft, and the blank page is history.
Moving to Section 4, Down, Up, and Dental.
Now, what's really interesting about this framework from the educational consultants at My Learning Springboard is how it separates the drafting mechanics into 3 completely distinct mindsets. First up is the downdraft. Your one and only goal here is to get words down on the page. Focus on pure speed. Next comes the updraft. This is where you fix the structure. It's vertical editing. You're just checking if the logic flows from the top to the bottom. Finally, we have the dental draft. Like a dentist cleaning your teeth, you go through tooth by tooth, polishing the grammar. The biggest tragedy so many writers face is doing the dental draft first. They spend an hour meticulously polishing a single paragraph, only to realize during the updraft that it doesn't even belong in the essay and has to be deleted. Save the dental work for last, folks.
The whole philosophy of the down-up dental method really boils down to this fantastic quote: "Speak from your heart, edit with your mind." Writing and editing use 2 completely different parts of your brain. Drafting needs creativity, flow, and emotion. Editing demands logic, criticism, and structure. If you try to do both at the exact same time, your brain is simply going to stall out.
Which brings us to our final section, beating writer's block.
Let's be real. Even with the best frameworks in the world, there are days when the words just refuse to come out. The folks over at Grammarly suggest a really flexible 5-step sequence to combat this. And the key takeaway here? You do not have to write in order. So many of us get completely blocked because we don't know how to start the introduction. Grammarly's advice? Skip it. Write the body paragraphs first. Write the conclusion. Start with whatever section feels easiest today and save that dreaded intro for last when you actually know what the whole piece is about.
So, the crucial point is maintaining your forward momentum at all costs. Here are some rapid-fire cures from our sources to keep you moving. Use placeholders. Can't remember a specific word or stat? Don't stop to look it up. Just bracket insert stat here and keep typing. Next, seriously, do not reread or edit while writing. Resist the urge to fix those typos. Also, writing is exhausting. Don't try to write when you're wiped out. If you're really stuck, just assemble your notes so you're editing existing material instead of staring at a blank screen. And hey, maybe join a Shut Up and Write peer group to hold yourself accountable.
And of course, we have to mention the modern elephant in the room, AI. Generative AI tools can be incredible for jumpstarting a rough draft when you are truly hopelessly stuck. But as Grammarly rightly points out, AI is a starting point. It is not the finish line. It might get you past the blank page, sure, but you absolutely have to refine it and inject it with your own human voice during those up and dental drafts.
Ultimately, whatever method you use, a zero draft, a down draft, an AI outline, just remember this brilliant piece of advice. The draft doesn't need to look good. It just needs to exist. Forward momentum is your only goal right now. You can fix a bad page, but you literally cannot fix a blank page. So I want to leave you with this thought. Your best writing is hiding behind your worst first draft. The masterpiece you're trying to create is locked away, and the only key is your willingness to write something wonderfully, horribly messy today. Stop worrying about the reader, give yourself permission to shovel some sand, and go write your downdraft. What masterpiece is waiting behind your blank page right now? Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I'll see you next time.